Luna and Celestia were having breakfast together in the dining hall. They were just talking about their day's duties. So, Luna, do you have any many duties to take care of today? Not really, just a few. What about you, Celestia? Uh, I have a quite a thing taken care of, but it's not like I haven't much difficult for that. I mean, since I ruled Equestria for a long time, ever since you were, you know, she was referred to when Luna was banished to the moon for 1,000 years. Yeah, I know what you mean. So, do you need any help with those? Do you work at all? Nah, not really. I can take care of this myself. Don't worry. Are you sure? Yeah. So after that, after breakfast, they went their separate ways of taking care of their duties. Luna finished off her duties around lunchtime, and since Celestia was still working on her duties on her documents, so Luna decided to take a walk in town and perhaps even go to a restaurant to have lunch. She would have asked Celestia, but since she was still busy with her work, so she decided to go herself this time. She went to a restaurant in town, and she was actually a frequent customer at this particular one. She was actually very well known by the customers and the staff, and they always treat her as regular pony, not by royalty. As she was sitting there, she heard a voice behind her, and she said, and turned around and saw it was a Pegasus by the name Lux. Lux! It has been a while. It has been. Can I say it for you, Luna? Of course. So Lux was actually a Pegasus stallion from Baltimore. He had he actually been recently been moved to Camelot to work as a main stylist. He was really a skilled main stylist. He was even famous for his work. So, how you been? You know, a lot of royalty work and all that. What about you? Being a main stylist is a very time-consuming work. Yeah, I can hear that. Understand that though. I mean, it's not unlike being a royalty. Oh, I cannot even imagine being a royalty though. Oh, why's that? You said Luna with a smile. I mean, don't take me wrong. It's just I have no idea how to be as a royalty. Many assume just sitting there, smiling, signing documents, meeting ambassadors, delegations from the kind of kingdoms and all like that. I mean, that is part of it, but there's a lot more than that. Lux just nodded and said, yeah. And after that, they both ordered their lunch, and they sat there, just talking, laughing about some memories and even some jokes, just having generally a good time. But it was something about Lux that Luna was somehow felt for. In fact, for the past few months, Luna had been attracted to Lux. He really was beautiful. He was handsome. Even even though that he is a main stylist, she often sometimes wondered if she could just tell him how she feels. But the thing is, due to the fact of her royalty works and of his being a main stylist, it's a bit difficult for them to have any time. But after lunch, they both left the restaurant, and but since Luna didn't have any other particular work, she was free to do anything else the rest of the day. So, do you have any work today? Actually, no, it's my day off today. Really? Yeah, it's one of my rare days that I actually do have a day off. Wow. Do you maybe want to do something to me? Do you want me to do something? Hmm. Why not? I mean, that would be fun. What out of your mind? I don't know. You you want to do something? I mean, if you have any idea. Lux thought for a moment. How about we go to the movies? There's supposed to be a new movie out there. Oh, you know what? I actually haven't been to the movie theater in a while now, so yeah, we can do that. So they walked to the movie theater and they decided to watch a comedy. And as they sat next to each other, Luna's heart was pounding faster and faster for each moment. Because sitting next to one that she had a big crush on was a quite of a pain. And even afterwards, when they both left the movie theater, they were laughing about the movie. They even talked about it, like say, that was the most funniest part. You're right. And how he was, hit by the door in the face as he was leaving the building, and how this somehow a pie fell on his head. Yeah, that part was really surprising. I never expecting a pie. I maybe thought maybe a flower pot, but a pie. Now that's a classic. They were just laughing and having a good time. But even though that Luna didn't want to leave, but he had to eventually. So they said goodbye to each other, and Luna went back to the castle. And when she arrived back home, Celestia was finished with her work. She was actually in the castle library. Oh, there you are, Luna. Where have you been? I was out for a few hours. Oh, did you do something special fun? Lunch with Lux, and we went to the movies. Lux? You mean the famous main stylist? Yeah, that's him. Wait, all right, I remember now. You're a friend with him. You met him before, haven't you? Yeah, I have actually, said Celestia. So, what kind of movies did you see? It was a comedy. I mean, what other choice to pick from? I mean, there weren't like many options like romance, a horror, and a comedy. And I mean, since he is a friend, but you like him, do you? Yeah. Celestia was actually the only one who knew about of Luna's true feelings for Lux. I just really don't understand why I cannot even get the courage to tell him. Maybe he doesn't feel the same way. Even if he did, he may not understand or may not even want to be a part of the royal family, having some extra royal duties to be taken care of. I see where you're coming, Luna. In fact, I did have a similar problem or situation myself centuries ago. You did? Yeah. This was around time after I banished you. I was actually dating a stallion for a short time. Oh, I didn't know that. Was he? Well, he was a noble. He was actually from a noble family in town, but he didn't felt the same thing as when it was when I thought it was getting serious. When I asked him about if he could see us potentially get married, and he didn't. I mean, at first he was happy to thought of their marriage with the princess, but then when he came to realize that he also had been trained and also been taking care of some royal duties like signing documents, meeting delegates, and all that. And I thought he was at least up for it, but he declined the BS to marry you. Yeah, he didn't even like it at all. So, but that doesn't mean that you had to give up your love for any pony. You know that, sister. Yeah, I know. So after that, Luna decided if she gets the right opportunity, she would tell Lux. And so for the next several weeks, Luna was hoping to be able to run into Lux again if he had a day off. But unfortunately, she didn't have the same luck. She did see him a couple of times, but he was either just outside of his saloon or he was on the with somebody else, like some of his colleagues, and that didn't mean that she could just walk up to him and talk. So she thought maybe if she could arrange a meeting at his saloon. But knowing for a fact he's a famous main stylist and he might be booked for months. And she didn't want to have her as being given any special treatment due to the fact of her being a royal. So she went to the saloon, and the opponents in there was so stunned to see one of the princesses just walked in, and a mayor walked up to Luna and asked how she can help her. Luna said that she was there to see if there was if she could book a time for get a new main style. At first, even though that she said that she knows that had been booked for months in advance, but the mayor wasn't even sure if she could say that when Lux suddenly was free and walked up to Luna and the mayor. Luna, how can I help you with? And the mayor who stood next to Luna explained. Ah, I see. Well, I mean, we do have one spot out open right now, so I can personally take care of you. Are you sure? Yeah, no problem. Come here. And then he did help her. He made her choose what main style she wanted, and after a lot of work, she was like, "Oh my gosh, I love it! I knew you were famous and you were skilled, but this is a whole new level, right? I'm glad you like it. And I might have to pay you. No worries, no worries. What? I mean, you don't have to give me special treatment because I'm royalty. It's not because of that. Oh, is it because I'm a friend of yours? No, it's for something else. Can you perhaps come with me to my back office so we can talk more privately? Yeah. So she walked with him to his back office where they talked. So, what was the reason I don't have to pay for this? I mean, I'm willing to pay for the full price that it is, said Luna. You see, the main reason that I didn't want to pay is not because you're royalty, not my friend. It's because I like you. What? For the past few months, Luna, I have been having this big crush on you. Wait, really? Yeah. I know that may sound stupid or it's insane that me, a main stylist, a famous pony, have a crush on Luna. But to be honest, there are probably like many other stallions out there who's had a crush on you, but never actually had an opportunity to take the chance to talk to you or even get to know you. Yeah, that's true. So, you like me? Yes. I just wanted to tell you. I mean, you don't have to use it to hide it. I know, I know. It's just that I don't know how the others would, how my staff would react if I suddenly confessed to you and if you declined, or at least rejected me at all. They all felt hurt. They may think that I would not be feeling so cheerful as much anymore, and I would lose my inspiration, lost my drive to work, you know? Luna did actually understand exactly what he was referring to. But then she chose to confess herself. You know, you're not the only one who likes someone special. Oh? Yeah, To be fair, I even have a crush on you as well for several months. And in fact, for several weeks now, I have been trying to find an opportunity to tell you, but I barely saw you either for because of your work, you don't have any day off, and yeah, so there was a lot of I barely have any time to see you, you know? So you really like me that much? Yeah, I do. Um, Luna, yeah? Do you perhaps want to go out with me? Yeah, I would like that, she said, and then decided they would go out on dinner that particular that night. He said that he would wait outside the castle around 6 p.m. After she left the saloon, she went home, she informed Celestia, and Celestia was just happy to hear that Luna took the chance to tell Lux how he felt, or how she felt for him. And around 6 p.m., she waited out by the entrance of the castle, waited for Lux to show up. Then Lux did show up at 6 p.m., and he said that Luna looked so amazing in her dress, with the combination with the new main style she had. And she thanked him. They went to the small restaurant nearby, and even though when they had ordered their food, it was a complete silence between them. Even when they had lunch together before, there was always a conversation between them, but that was before they was now on an actual date. In fact, this was actually even Luna's very first date ever. She has never even been involved in a romance even before this. She even confessed this debt to Lux. Lux did say to her that he had only been in a relationship a few times before he became famous. Ever since then, he had been approached by many mayors, by many customers, and even other celebrities to by asking him out or even ask for his autograph like that. But when they asked him for an autograph, he had no problem with it. But when it was about asking him out, eventually it started getting a bit annoying for him. He only thought they were only after him for his celebrity status and or his money. And eventually he just got tired of it and he decided to simply quit of being looking for any form of romance whatsoever. Every time when the mayor is trying to hit him up, he declines to offer their advances right away. He just says that he has no interest in romance whatsoever. He only wants to focus on his work and his family and friends. That's it. But even though deep down in his heart, he really wants to be with somebody to settle down one day and start a family of his own. He is willing to giving up his profession as a main stylist by retire and do something else. And when Luna heard that, wait, are you really willing to just give it all up? Just because you don't want to be with someone? Yeah, that's pretty much. Wow. I didn't know how to put that hard for you. You probably had the same thing, don't you? No, no, not really. I mean, there had only been a few stallions that they showed interest, but they were only mostly after for my royal status, hoping to be a prince, and they would one day to take over the kingdom with me or something like that. It just eventually decided I didn't want to involve myself in too much romance or that type of stallions, you know. That made Lux smile, said, "We are very much alike, don't we?" Yeah, it sounds like that. After that, they enjoyed their dinner and have a good time. And even afterwards, when he walked her back to the castle, she thanked him, gave him a kiss, and before she walked in, she even asked him if he wanted to go out again with him. with her? And he said yes. And for the next several weeks, their dating was kept as a secret. At least they weren't even official dating yet. But it didn't take long for the general public to been aware that the famous main stylist has been meeting up with Luna several times. But at first they were just only out for a lunch or just out for a walk. The public were aware they were friends, so there was like no rumors of them being dating or anything because they didn't see each other every day. It happened a few times in a week that were able to see each other due to the fact of their work. But after about a month or so, they decided to become public that they were now dating. To the most, they're amazed that the public was shocked, but very supportive to their relationship. Even though there were several mayors who was actually had a crush on him, when they realized he was now in an official relationship with Luna, it was no way that they would even get a chance to be with him. And it even turned out even one of his female staff also had a crush on him, but they knew that there was no possibility because they were aware, at least at the time, that he was not interested in romance. But when they heard that he was with Luna, they felt a bit betrayed, but it eventually changed to happiness. Because seeing their boss happy to be with somebody wanted them to be happy as well. And even after a while, their relationship was only getting stronger and stronger. But then, it happened. One day, when Luna and Lux were having lunch together, he looked a bit sad. Is something wrong? She asked him. Well, I had to be leaving Canton for a while. Why? Why? It's for work, actually. I have a friend who works in Manhattan, also as a main stylist. He actually had one of his staff been sick lately, and he asked me for help. And I said yes right away. He is a very old friend of mine, and we actually went to the same beauty school. And I can't decline because he helped me when I was in a desperate need of help. So I won't return the favor. I I hope you understand, Luna. Luna just nodded and said, yeah, I do. Don't worry. But how long is it going to be there? Uh, for about a week or two. Depends on how his coworker is getting better or not. Well, at least you're having some fun though. That's right. So when are you leaving? In 2 days. Oh, okay. So for the next 2 days, they actually spent a lot more time. But on the day when he was leaving, she actually went to the train station and said goodbye to him. Even though that he told her that he will be gone for about a week or two, but he did say that it might even be longer, depend on certain circumstances, which she completely understand. So during this time, while he was away, he did send her a letter almost a few times in that week, just been telling her how his work been doing and how much he misses her, hope to see her again soon. And she was just happy, even though a bit sad that he was away for so long. But then the most shocking news she got. After just about a week, she was told that he was going to be there for a total of 3 weeks. But in the second week, something terrible happened. One day, when she was just in the castle garden by herself, suddenly a royal guard ran up to her, saying that he had shocking news. What is it? She asked with a smile. It's about your boyfriend, Your Highness. What about him? He's in the hospital in Manhattan. What? Why? He was attacked. Attacked? Robbed. What? Yeah. I'm sorry. I was just recently informed by Celestia and she told me to tell you. Then she ran to see Celestia, who was also the reason seemed to be in shock and afraid. She got even further information from her sister. He is what? Said Luna, crying. Yeah, it seems that he's in very critical condition. But, Luna, there is something else. What? What is it? Doctors state they don't know if he might even make it. What do you mean? He lost too much blood, and the knife that he was stabbed was very close to his heart. Did they cut the pony who did it? Yeah, they did, almost right afterwards. What what was the reason? Ah, the typical robber, stealing the money. But then suddenly Luna just ran out the throne room and flew all the way to Manhattan. Even Celestia tried to call out to her when she was leaving, but Luna didn't listen. When she arrived at the hospital in Manhattan, she approached the receptionist, asking in which room where Lux were located. The nurse was actually quite surprised to see Luna, but since Luna and Lux's relationship was in general public knowledge by now, she told her where in which room he were in, and even though Luna was told maybe it was best to wait until he's woken up, but she wanted to see him. So, the nurse told her exactly which room and what floor. Luna went there, seeing Lux laying in the hospital bed, hooked up to the machines. She broke down, crying. She walked up to him, cried, and told him how much she loved him. And losing him would have been the most devastating effect in her life. It was like if she loses him, she would have feeling like if someone just stabbed her heart. She was told by a doctor. The doctor said, due to Lux's critical condition, there is no way to say when he will wake up or if he even will wake up. Hearing the word that he may not wake up at all made her even more heartbroken. She could not live a day without him. So she decided to leave the hospital and went to the police station. She wanted to understand and even asked the pony directly why stabbing him if it was just too drastic. According to the police, when she was told that Lux was willing to handing over the money and any other values that he had, but the other pony was impatient. So even when he thought that he had even had over all the values that Lux was still have something value, but even when he tried to confirm that he didn't have any other valuables on him, the robber didn't believe him. So after he stabbed him, turns out the robber searched through but found no more other valuables. So just only after he took off, he was caught by the police, only not that far distance away. Luna requested for talk to this robber herself. She was allowed, but Robert said the same thing. He only wanted the values so that he could get some money for it, that's it. There was no particular motive. He was just a random target. She said, I will personally make sure you present the authorities for life for this. And that made the robber really much scared and he was sweating. He was begging and begging. Well, but her mind was clear and set. She even reached out to her sister by letter, and Celestia agreed. This robber should not be allowed to be released in public. So he was sentenced to Tartarus for life. Even though some police may think that was maybe a little bit harsh, but it turns out that he had been doing this for years. And that Lux was not only his victim of a random robbery attacks. He had apparently been attacking a few dozens of other police for the past 5 years. But so far, Lux was the only one that actually got hurt. Seriously hurt. Others was only snapped, had something hit their head, which they lost their consciousness. But Lux was the only victim of this robber that literally stabbed almost to death. And for the next several weeks, Luna was still at the hospital every single day for about 4 weeks. That means for a whole month. Eventually, she was told maybe that she had to give up hope that he will wake up. But as if by a miracle, Lux did recover. He woke up, and Luna was just happy to see what happened. Lux? Lux! Luna? Where am I? What happened? You're in the hospital. You were attacked and stabbed. What? Don't you even remember? Lux tried to remember, and eventually he did remember at least part of what happened. I believe so. I feel so drowsy. The doctors The doctors was really happy to see that Lux had made a full recovery. But they told him that he had to stay in the hospital for a bit longer just to make sure it was no any long-lasting complications. After a couple of weeks and more, he was allowed to leave the hospital. But he decided to not return back to work for at least another 2 more weeks. And after those 2 weeks had passed, he went back to work as normal. Police, who has been his loyal customers, they were actually very supportive. And even during these 2 weeks that he was at home, Luna visited him almost every single day. They they had so much fun. He She made lunch for him. She even read some books for him, just having just a more relaxing. Despite what happened, their love for each other remained strong. She said that she could not have even imagined a life without him. She said that losing him would have been like if someone had stabbed her in her heart. He said, you know, I would have felt the same thing. I would have not understand or even know what to do if I lost you. Their relationship after from that day remained stronger for each single day. And just as with time went on, 4 years passed. And then, on the 4-year anniversary, Lux took Luna to a restaurant to celebrate their 4 years anniversary. There, he proposed to her. She said yes immediately. She was really happy now to be engaged to her beloved boyfriend, now fiancé, Lux. Even though Lux himself was still the main stylist, but he had decided to take less work and a bit more free time so that he could spend time with Luna. And after this engagement was became public, the whole public was so happy about him. They decided to have the wedding in Cantlot during the evening, during the afternoon, around sunset. Luna had decided to ask Cadence to be her maid of honor, and her sister to want to be performing the ceremony. Lux had asked his old friend from Manhattan to be his best man, and it was an amazing wedding as well. They were just so happy to be together. And even after the wedding itself, Celestia told Luna she was happy for her sister. And as a bonus for even for Lux, not only that he now was a part of the royal family, that he was also a prince, they had made him immortal, which he had no problem with. Afterwards, they actually went to Saudi Arabia for their honeymoon for about 2 weeks, and they had an amazing time. They really love each other so much. And after being married for about 2 years, they wanted to start a family, and just only about shortly afterwards, they were informed they were expecting their first child, a daughter, an alicorn. They were just happy, and about 4 years later, they actually even had another child, a son, who also was an alicorn. Luna had ever since then, have felt so happy to finally have found her true love within Lux. Even before she even met Lux, there were times when she thought of, would I ever found my true love? And even though when she first meeting up with Lux from time to time, eventually when she realized he was her true love. But also the time when she thought that she could almost lost him after he was attacked, she couldn't even imagine a life without him. Lux himself was really happy that he did manage to meet Luna and survived, but now that he is immortal, he has not to worry about it anymore. Since then, their love for each other has grown stronger. And this is how Luna and Lux found the true love of a big family together. The end.